but you can prepare for them. And hopefully the Heat can avoid injury woes this season. If they can.
Outside Dragic. Whiteside, a screen on Beverly. Just 5 on the clock. Howard with the steal. To the inside. And Harden gets...
Whether it was the defensively that let them down or just the inability to really bring the fire on that side of the ball.
And guys, it was a bit befuddling to me as to why they stuck with it. I mean, they dug themselves a hole and couldn't find the tweaks they needed to get out of it.
Harden gets the bucket.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
The last game against Cleveland.
Yeah, and he also did a great job on the backboards, Kev, and that also was a factor.
The Rockets have gone 4-4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Last season for James Harden was easily his best hit, finished second in the MVP race, put up huge numbers with career highs in points per game scoring. Greg, more
than losing out to Russell Westbrook, who just went on a tremendous tear the second half of the season, and then also finished runner-up in the MVP race.
Howard with it. He's picked up by Whiteside. Howard, that's good.
You know, usually teams go on runs, and it comes from a lot of layups and dunks, but that's not the case here.
Well, it's about rhythm, and they put this run together on the strength of their mid-range jump shot. They might as well be layups with the way they're shooting.
I tell you what, fellas, we're seeing some really good ball movement out there.
Definitely. 10 of their last 12 points have come off assists.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. Well, you think back to the 2009 draft, the Thunder selecting James Harden 3rd overall, and there was some second guessing there.
Yeah, and Tyreke Evans, Kevin, taking a pick after him, won Rookie of the Year. But with time, Harden's talent is proven out, and you could argue he should have gone first in that draft.
Now here's Dragic. Bosh heads the pick for Dragic to the left side wing. Bosh, no one around him, and that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist.
And now that the seal is broken, maybe their shooting will start to improve.
Yeah, I don't think they really wanted to have as cold a start as they did, but maybe that'll break the ice and they'll move forward in fine fashion from here.
And, you know, you think of Harden on the Thunder. They didn't want to give him that max contract, but it's hard to argue that he's not worth every penny.
Chris Bosh again.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
And here are the Rockets now. They're on a 14-4 run. Beverly dishes to Maniunas. And Whiteside sends it back. And now here's Dragic, the fast break chance. Bosh, high post. And it's Miami with another.
And guys, when you talk to other players on the Rockets, James Harden more and more becoming a vocal leader. I mean, tremendous confidence and swagger and determination, but that confidence can be contagious, and it's allowing him now to be a leader on this team.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Amari Stoudemire, he's checked in for Whiteside. And Winslow subbed in for Luol Deng. And the Rockets making a change here as well. Michael Beasley, he's checked in for Maniunas. One-on-one here. And it's Beverly missing.
And fancy finishes like that look great, but man, it's embarrassing when you blow them.
And stolen by Howard. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
We've got 1:13 left to play here in the first. Inside, Beasley with the steal. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Beverly with the ball. Harden, that's good. And now we'll get perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Rockets.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely. a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
Well, they've got far too many turnovers this half. That's the reason that they're losing the basketball game.
Absolutely.
You know, and sometimes, guys, you're just trying to do too much. It's good to be aggressive, but you've got to have your wits about you.
And continuing to expand his arsenal last season, Patrick Beverley, the guard for the Rockets. Career highs in assists and rebounds per game, and he's one of the smallest guys on the floor.
Yeah, and he's really working on the details of becoming a better playmaker, becoming a guy that has coaches trust him to handle the basketball in those crucial situations.
Both free throws good from Beverley.
You know, talking about Beverley, his wrist injury really changed things for the Rockets at the end of last season. Suddenly, 37-year-old Jason Terry had to take on big minutes at the point, and he was serviceable, but they missed Beverley's toughness on defense particularly.
It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And going back to the one thing with Patrick Beverley, his shot could still be more consistent. Last year, he was down in shooting averages across the board, including just 38% from the field. It makes it very difficult on your offense when you have an inability to space the floor.
Just some amazing stats put up by Chris Bosh early in his career, but having been in the shadow of LeBron and D. Wade over the past few seasons, one wonders if Bosh is now a little bit underrated. He's talented and gives you everything you want from the power forward spot.
Richardson, he's checked in for Miami. And so Bosh nails both of them. Well, getting back to Chris Bosh, it's always difficult to reshape your game around a superstar teammate. I mean, just ask Kevin Love last year.
You know, it's such a good point. When you think about Bosh, you know, he isn't the kind of guy who demands special attention. You know, he's not mugging for the press. He's not out there for himself. He just really lets his play speak for itself. And you won't find many bigs who are as versatile as he is. Not diagram a better way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to.
Part of the second quarter when we return. And certainly an intriguing matchup tonight. Let's hear from Trevor Ariza on his team's mentality coming in.
You're playing against a team that is very scrappy. You know, they want to win as well. You got to come ready to play. You got to be ready for everything, and you got to be ready to claw to get this win tonight.
Ariza might as well be describing his own game, Clark. Scrappy, ready to play, ready for anything, ready to claw to get that win.
Well, you know, he does have that kind of all-around, all-out game going back to his days at UCLA. I mean, when you combine that with his talent, he's a guy who, no matter where he's been, his teammates rave about him and respect him.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And, guys, we've seen the Rockets really take control here.
I just really like what we're seeing from a defensive standpoint, forcing a lot of turnovers with those quick hands.
Yeah, those active hands, Greg, have produced a number of steals early. They've been very aggressive.
Taking a look at the Rockets, Terry is out there with Corey Brewer. Then there's Howard. Then there's Beasley. And it's Capella in at the 4 spot. It's stolen by Dang. Here's Richardson. He dents the rim with a 2-handed slam. Wow.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case. It looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
The Rockets were terrific on the road last season, Clark. Tied for second with the Clippers for the most road wins in the league.
26-15, although if you want to get picky about it, they had one of those wins in Mexico City, so maybe 25.5 road wins for them.
And now Now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
And I do remember that Mexico City game last year for the Rockets. A huge turnout for them. It felt like they were the crowd favorites. Still, you can't take anything away from their road performances last season.
Wade, he's checked in for Miami. KJ McDaniels, he's checked in for the Rockets. Rockets leading by 14.
And, you know, you think about the Rockets, as you mentioned. I mean, one reason they were so good on the road is their offense didn't miss a beat when they left Houston. When you can get to the line as much as they did, you remain consistent on the road.
We're closing in on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. With his first shot attempt, that one off the back iron and out.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Feeds to Brewer. From the high post. Miami grabs the miss.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Cuts off the pass. They're running. Here's Capella. No good.
Just tentative in the paint. Lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
The drive by Wade. Good work defensively by Terry.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Shot's good.
And this collapse we've seen by their interior defense, it's really the reason why they've struggled and are in such a hole.
Monteunice is checked in for Houston.
One thing about Corey Brewer, he's a defensive specialist, has a combination of size and quickness that's real hard to score against. I mean, equally good at defending in the half court or transition.
Going back to Corey Brewer, he also has a sixth sense of sniffing out steal opportunities. Very quick hands. He's averaged 1.5 steals a game over his career.
Kevin, Corey's one of those guys that's always going to give that effort offensively and find ways to contribute there. But more importantly, he's going to give you results on the defensive side of the ball.
He has an amazing motor. It never shuts down. And it's Capella missing. The Heat trail by 16. Wade with it. Guarded now by Jason Terry. The feed now to Dragic. The pass to Wade. 5 on the clock. Another miss by Wade. Rockets leading by 16. Shoots from the high post, and he gets the jumper to drop. Brewer's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage. And Corey Brewer, guys, out of Florida, remember, won those 2 national championships, teaming up with Joakim Noah and Al Horford. Terrific quickness, and that rangy frame makes him a disruptive defender. Great versatility as well on that end of the floor.
Timeout called, the Heat. Clark, Corey Brewer was the 7th pick in the 2007 draft. He's never really reached that star caliber so many had predicted.
Yeah, you know, his offense has held him back a bit. He's a bit erratic at that end of the floor. Not a great shooter. Slashes effectively well. He's most effective in transition.
Indeed. for Miami, Amari Stoudemire. He's checked in for Whiteside. Wash comes in for Joe Johnson. And Winslow subbed in for Luol Deng. Houston also making some changes. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Brewer. Harden comes in for McDaniels. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Jason Terry. Outside Dragic to the middle. Stolen by Harden. And here we go. Fast break. Beverly's got it. Stolen by Winslow. Ariza against Dragic. To the paint. Here's Stoudemire. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic.
Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Good point, Clark. They're starting to make some shots, looking to try and get back in this one.
Tries to keep it alive. It's stolen by Wade. Dragic against Beverly. Wade kicks to Dragic. Good ball movement here by Miami. Pass to Bosh. His three-pointer's off the mark.
Well, I think it's been said about 1,000 times now how Coach Spoelstra started as a video coordinator with the Heat, but he's been with the organization for so long, they are starting to become synonymous.
The Heat trail by 18. Here's Wade. He's coming off a 13-point game against Cleveland. Stoudemire, and he finishes nicely on the layup. Stoudemire's got his second basket of the night.
And you're going to take as many of those high-percentage shots as you can get.
Here's Montejunas, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
That's his first personal foul.
For Houston, they have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game.
Montejunas taking 2 shots.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Montejunas.
Boy, last year the Rockets dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, the front court and post players were hit the hardest. I think almost every Rocket big would end up missing some time.
The Heat making a switch here. Richardson's checked in. Howard's checked in for the Rockets. He makes 1 of 2 that time. And last season, GA, as you were talking about, the injuries for the Rockets did pile up. Dwight Howard was out. Terrence Jones was out. They missed those guys for multiple games.
Yeah, and that hurt them inside. But also, remember, Beverly goes down right before the playoffs. So in all, the Rockets had 180 missed games on their roster due to injury. Amazing they stayed so resilient and were able to capture that 2 seed.
And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy, coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the 3 or just taking it to the rack himself.
And, you know, back to Goran Dragic, many of his transition opportunities start with his aggressive defense. Very active with his hands, has the instincts to jump passing lanes, the long arms, to pick off passes. Suddenly, when he gets a steal, he's off and running.
Both free throws good from Dragic.
And talking about Goran Dragic, the one thing he has to be careful with is being over-aggressive on D. Reaching for steals makes you susceptible to blow-bys and escape dribbles, and that can lead to uncontested layups and dunks for your opponent.
Left side Bosh. Fires from deep. No good from Dragic. Rockets leading by 15. Here's Montejunas. Tries again. Harden. The shot is off. Excellent D there from Stoudemire. Miami's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Richardson, that's a 2-pointer. Miami no good on that time either.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he
hits the front of the rim and out. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. Rockets on top, up by 15. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach, with this type of ball game, what needs to happen in order for you to pull out a win tonight?
Well, we have to play through some of the tough times, okay, whether it's a missed call or whether missed shots. This is a passionate game, and we got to stay the course.
Coach, thank you so much. Guys, handling both adversity and prosperity is so crucial.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. James Harden was the man in the first. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
Well, they knocked the wind out of the defense in transition, converting fast break baskets in volume. It's a runaway lead right now. In fact, this looks like a track meet.
And over to Shaq. What'd you think about Miami?
They were brick city, and it was painful to watch. Weak shooting starts to get contagious, and they were struggling all over the place. They got to work on getting more high-quality chances, more layups, fewer prayers.
All right, and that'll do it for us here. We now take you back to the second half of our game. Kevin Harlan ready with the call.
Give it up for yours.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
Houston leading by 15. A lot's been made of the Heat fans in the past for walking out during the finals game where they looked to be out of it. But credit, you know, the Miami Heat fans, Greg, with last year sticking with this team.
Yeah, and in all fairness, I would have walked out as well because I thought it was over. But with LeBron out of town, a lot of Heat fans could have jumped off the bandwagon. But you know what? They stayed with it. So although the weather is fair, the fans are not.
Oh, well said. Thank you. Dang and Bosh, your small and power forwards. Dragic is joined in the backcourt by Wade, and it's Whiteside in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's who Eric Spoelstra starts the second half with. And so here is Miami, trailing by 17. Bosh against Modi Yunus. And stolen by Ariza. Howard dishes to Harden. Pulls up. And it's Miami with the rebound.
And, you know, for the Heat, despite the struggles, they still sold out every game here last season. They were among the top teams in the league in total attendance.
Nice move and finish. I think the halftime break really gave him a second win.
Here's Beverly. It's hauled in by the Heat. Dragic has got 4 rebounds now tonight. That's good from Dang on the assist by Wade.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Timeout called, the Rockets.
And really, they showed up in force, even as the Heat fell to the back of the pack. The Heat only 20-21 last year at American Airlines Arena, but the fans love them all the same. And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
No good from Dragic.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
And guys, Dwight Howard's an interesting guy, one of the most physically imposing players in our league, and yet he's known for his lighthearted, almost playful nature.
Timeout called, the Heat. And for Howard, his parents raised him to keep a smile on his face and stay upbeat, remain positive. He's done all those things and still competed in the rough and tumble world of pro basketball.
Yeah, and yet some of his peers and contemporaries have gone at him. Durant, for instance, Kobe Bryant called him soft. Byron Scott questioned his desire. Guys go about their work in different manners.
Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Chris Bosh. The Heat trail by 15. Wade kicks to Dragic. Johnson sends the screen for Whiteside. Back to Dragic. The leaner falls for it. That was a difficult shot. Dragic has got 6 points. For the Houston Rockets, they come in off a good outing against Golden State.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
Harden against Wade. Kicks to Whiteside. Puts up the baby hook and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. That's on Dwight Howard. And Hassan Whiteside of Miami had the breakout year of all breakout years. Clark, he blew up in the right way last season. Averaged a double-double over 48 games.
Yeah, and great to see for Whiteside because he did have some issues prior to the breakout year. And it's nice to see him find his stride and produce with that awesome talent he has.
And talking about Whiteside, he isn't completely out of the woods yet. I mean, after a couple of ejections last season, his teammates publicly condemned his actions. They questioned his maturity, challenged him to be more reliable, and for the most part, he was after those incidents.
And both free throws good from Whiteside.
And you know, the thing about Whiteside, guys, when he's right, he's an unbelievable game changer. Second in the league in block shots last season. Also posted the second best field goal percentage. The guy can play if he keeps his head squarely on his neck.
And the shot is good.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
Rockets leading by 11. Here's Capella.
I mean, he was still sliding right there.
Richardson, he's checked in for Goran Dragic. And a switch here also for Houston. McDaniels checked in. Howard, the pass to McDaniels. Houston moving it around. Here's Terry. Here's Capella. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Capella's got his second basket of the game.
He just punishes you on the backboard. I mean, it's pretty deflating for a team trailing big and still giving up second chance opportunities.
There's the pick. Johnson in the corner. Plenty of space. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. Johnson's got his third basket of the night right there. It's stolen by Dang. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Dishes it to Wade. The putback, and it's slammed in by Whiteside. Whiteside's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Heat.
Showing us a little force on that putback there.
Well, there was no way he was going to let that chance slip away.
No, sir.
Hey, guys, but how about the positioning there when the shot went up? Beautiful.
And some changes here for the Heat. Stoudemire comes in for Hassan Whiteside. And Winslow subbed in for Luol Deng. And a change for the Rockets. Michael Beasley, he's checked in for Capella. On offense, here are the Heat. They're on a 14-6 run. Richardson dishes to Stoudemire. Stoudemire drawing the double team. They get it back. Rockets leading by 9. Fires from 18. And the basket good. Brewers got 6. Here's Wade. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Here's Johnson. Wow, way off on that one. Rockets have gone 5 of 9 on field goal attempts since halftime. Well, Greg, after a run of 10 playoff trips in 11 years, the Miami Heat missing the postseason last year, they'd end up a game back of the 8th spot.
Yeah, and what's hard for the Heat, Kevin, is that they were in the playoff picture for most of the year, and as the season wore on, they slowly fell out of that top 8.
Miami no good on that time either. Rockets have gone 6 of 10 from the field in the third quarter. It's Terry outside, but they'll get another chance. Second chance shot, and the Rockets getting another bucket right there.
And really just led him to his sweet spot for that finish.
The Heat trail by 15.
You know, guys, for the greater part of last season, it appeared as though the Heat were playoff bound. Even with the players they lost, most figured they would be playing postseason basketball.
Here's Brewer, and he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Brewer's got 10.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Wade kicks to Richardson, and out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
Rockets ball. And one reason why the Heat did come up short in their playoff aspirations, they were very poor against other teams in the playoffs. So only went 15-31 against teams that had made it into the postseason last year.
Chris Bosh is checked in for the Heat. James Harden, he's checked in for the Rockets. Patrick Beverley comes in for Jason Terry. Brewer's shot is off. Miami's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. There's the dish to Richardson. Stoudemire outside, out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Trevor Ariza's checked in for Corey Brewer. Here's Houston now. It's been 8 unanswered points for him. And that one's good. Ariza's got 5 now.
That was some slick passing from Harden on that one.
16 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Wade against Beverly. Wade passes to Bosh. It's Richardson on the wing. Here's Stoudemire, and it's sent back by Howard. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. The Rockets on top, opening up a huge gap. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. The Heat trail by 20. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter. So on the floor for Houston, Beverly and Harden, they're the backcourt. Howard is out there with Beasley, and it's Ariza in at the 3 spot. Down low. The shot will not go. Now the Heat take it the other way. Inside, here's Bosh.
You know, something that's floating around in the sports world and in the NBA is reseeding after the playoffs start. And for those of you who may not understand the situation, it's simply saying that no matter what, Heat would play the lower seeded team, however you get to those numbers.
The Heat making a switch here. Whiteside's checked in. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for the Rockets.
And, guys, something every team strives for is getting points off of turnovers, and they've done that here in both halves.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Houston leading by 17. Ariza goes in. That's good. And with that whole concept of playoff reseeding, so often we'll see a second or third seed team get a sixth or seventh seed team in the second round. Meanwhile, Greg, the top seed plays the fourth seed no matter what.
You know, I think in a few cases it would have made a major difference in how the playoffs would have played out. And quite frankly, I think it also puts more value on the regular season if that number one seed could play a seventh seed, if you will, in the second round. So I think that's something that the commissioner and the competition committee might want to reassess.
Shooting for Miami, Michael Beasley. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And Beasley drops both of them.
And the Rockets were a tough team last year, but at times it really felt like a one-man show. Harden carried them so much for so long. You just have to wonder if it wore him out.
On the wing, Dang. This one for 3. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic. 7 points for Luol Deng.
And he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the D.
No good from Howard. And if carrying the team during the regular season wore Harden down, Greg, as you were talking about, it didn't show that much in the playoffs. Harden was phenomenal most, if not Clark, all of the postseason.
I would agree with you, but there also were some other guys for Houston that did step up in the postseason. Howard looked as good as he did before all of his injuries, as a case in point.
Here's Harden, finished off the break. And the Rockets lead by 18.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Timeout called, the Heat. Well, Dwight Howard had that back surgery, and he's had knee trouble, and he is no longer quite as dominant, Clark, as the player we saw back in certainly his younger days in Orlando.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Kevin, he's still in the conversation for best centers in the NBA. I think he remains a superstar big man when he's healthy.
The kick out to Dang. Outside Dragic. Clock at 6. Outside Bosh. Jumper off the screen. Miami no good on that time either.
And you remember back in Orlando, Dwight Howard, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, not to mention a slam dunk title. He's lost some of that lift, but still has more than just about any other center in our league.
Beverly against Dragic. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic. And it's 13 points for Chris Bosh.
And Howard missing a lot of time last season with various knee issues. He's taken his training and conditioning regimen to a new level, it looks like, to kind of preserve his body for the long haul.
The Heat making a switch here. Wade's checked in. Dragic kicks to Wade. And he gets it to go.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Dragic dishes to Dang. Wade with no one around. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
Ariza passes to Harden, tries it from 19, up and in. That's his 10th make in the contest. He has only taken 13 shots.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
Bosh, the screen. Dragic kicks to Bosh. Passes it to Deng. Here's Whiteside. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. I mean, he had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket. Boy, last season, Hassan Whiteside made a huge splash in the NBA. Big blocks, big rebound totals, but he had some head-scratching moments as well. Missed his share of action due to suspensions.
And, G.A., as you said with Whiteside, his fiery attitude flared up a few times last season, and it hurt his team more than once in Miami.
No doubt. It's something that he has got to work on. I mean, he's proven that he can be a big-time player in this league, but he can't have the mental lapses that get him tossed from games and hurt his team.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah, the score has a lot to do with that. Their overall effort and execution has been elite.
Dragic dishes to Wade. The rebound by Harden. Rockets leading by 17. Beverly the pass to Ariza. To the inside. Howard. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead kind of attack that they have.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Rockets.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight, Clark, they had both.
They sure did. I mean, the ball was moving and guys were knocking down shots.
And every win important. And this one will go down as win number 3.
And so they win their first game against this squad. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
Yeah, and Greg, when it is just a 2-game season series, the team winning game 1 has that slight mental edge going into the second meeting, knowing they've already solved their opponent one time and only have to do it one more time.
And beyond the actual result of this game, fans are going to look back and see this was just a monstrous performance for James Harden. There wasn't much they could do to slow him down as he was converting every good chance he got.
Dragic with a wide open look. Again, the miss by the Heat. Balanced scoring, Clark, for them. They're moving it well.
Yeah, you love to see teams share the sugar. Everybody getting a touch, everybody enjoying an opportunity to score. That makes it a lot of fun for everybody on the court.
You know, it sounds better when you say it than watching it, okay? It's like better when you say it. Sharing the sugar.
You might want to cut down on that sugar intake, though, Clark. But anyway, everybody's been involved in this offense here early on, and it has a way of helping you defensively. Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
That one will seal the deal there. They've exploded here at the end.
Boy, I love the serious killer instinct they've shown, finishing strong.
So we see Houston taking the W here. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for tuning in. And this broadcast has not ended just yet, as we've got the award-winning Ernie Johnson standing by here for the postgame show.
The 2K Sports postgame show.